All right, so another exciting interview with some of our longtime residents. I'm Nick with the Clinton Museum, and today we are interviewing Pat Janzen, who is a longtime resident here, who has experience being a member of a ranching family. And first question, let's discuss what brought you here, beginning with some of your parents' background.
Well, I came from England, yeah, and I worked in Vancouver till I lost my job. If I could have gone back to thank the man for firing me, I would have given him my thanks you very much, because that changed my whole life. And because, I just met my husband up here and we got married. We didn't go out court very long, but it was just ideal for me, yeah.
So what brought you up here originally, other than losing your job down in the coast?
Well, my sister and I came to Paula's Dude Ranch for 6 years as a, guest ranch. And we just fell in love with the country. Now, so when the opportunity came to move up here, I jumped at the chance.
That's
and
fantastic.
Said, will you marry me? And I said, yes.
What was your husband's background? Did he come from a ranching family?
Well, farming family on the prairies.
So he had moved here in 1948-ish.
Yeah, 48, yeah.
And he started his ranch over by Mound Road.
Yeah.
So when you met him, were you ready for the ranching life?
It was a big shock for me, but I grew into it, I guess. No electricity, outside toilet, cooking on a wood cook stove, no power, it was a bit of a cultural shock. Gas washing machine that I had to put the exhaust pipe off the door, and I had Mom and Dad had given me a Brown Betty teapot. Yeah, Brown Betty, remember those? No, you wouldn't remember those. But anyway, I put it on the shelf and the bump into that, and all of a sudden, just fell off the shelf into the wood stove, and shattered into 1,000 pieces.
Oh, no, that's too bad.
Well, it wasn't, well, yeah, but it was no big deal.
And tell us a little bit about your husband, Corny.
Well, they lived on the prairies, and they moved out here and lived in Chilliwack. But Corny came up here to work for Charlie Baker, and Charlie Baker mostly, and Mr. Whitman. He just cowboyed for them.
And so what was it like being married to a cowboy?
Cowman.
Cowman.
Man, I didn't have to wear skirts and nylons anymore. That was my big thing. I hated nylons. Hated them with a passion. First morning I went to work, wearing these things, felt like my legs were full of sawdust. So it was nice when I moved up to the ranch, I could wear jeans all the time.
Oh, yeah?
That was my big thing.
Did you help with the cows too?
Did I? Well, I wasn't a rider. I didn't ride horses at the time, but I learned to ride, and I'd go out sometimes, but mostly that was Corny's job. If I was no big rider, I didn't really much at all. So
what were some of your responsibilities on the ranch?
Well, I grew a big garden. I helped a little bit around at haying time and cattle feeding. I was out there driving the tractor feeding. Yeah, it was just one of the things a housewife did.
And so you had 2 children, a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
What was it like raising children on the ranch?
It was good. It was, my son loved motorbikes. His dad would have loved him to have horses, but he liked motorbikes. My daughter loved horses, so now my son, does everything, haying and pulling cows, all that kind of stuff, and he's very good at it. Whereas Linda, her husband, was ranching with Allison's father-in-law.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you interview him, by the way?
No.
He's infamous for
No.
never accepting an invite to be interviewed.
Yep.
Oh, he never
He
did.
never
No.
allowed himself to be interviewed.
No, everybody wanted to, but he always refused.
Oh, well,
And
that
so
was
now we have to learn about him through the
Other
interviews
people.
of the people who knew
Yeah.
him.
a very good man.
Tell us a little bit more about him.
No, just a real cowboy. Yeah, that's all I can say. I mean, he's a very good dad and raised 4 boys. Did a good job.
Where was his ranch?
Well, he worked out of Risky Creek. They lived out there for some years, and then he had a place out of town here.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's where Linda met.
so
Linda
tell
met
us.
Kenny and
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, Linda met Kenny, his son, and they fell in love, and they're still happily married.
That's great.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
And they got one. My son never had any children. No, disappointing, but
Yeah.
that's the way it is, I guess. Nothing you can do about it.
And so, where did your children go to school? In Clinton?
Jamie graduated out of Ashcroft because he had grade 12. He had to go to Ashcroft.
Right.
When Linda was graduating the school here, you know, the graduating class then. So, yeah.
Any memories of what Clinton used to be like compared to what it is now? What do you remember fondly about Clinton?
Oh, well, they didn't have a pharmacy. I mean, they have a pharmacy. They did have a pharmacy then. Didn't have a pharmacy here. We had a doctor that came, you know, 2 days a week, I guess. And we had a meat market out of town there, a little ways, which we don't have now. Oh, gee, I don't know. I don't know.